She was humiliated in seat 22C, mocked by strangers who thought she was nothing. But when turbulence struck and she whispered her call sign, the sky shook, fighter jets roared, and even Air Force One diverted to fly at her side. The cabin lights flickered softly as the plane soared above the clouds. In seat 22C, a young woman sat alone by the window. She wore a grey hoodie, her hair tied back. Nothing about her appearance suggested wealth, influence, or power. To the people around her, she was just ordinary. But ordinary wasn't enough for some. "Excuse me, that's my bag space," snapped a passenger as he shoved her backpack aside. Others glanced at her with smirks, whispering and giggling. She quietly adjusted, never raising her voice. Years of facing judgment had taught her to endure in silence. But deep inside, she carried a strength none of them could imagine. Because this wasn't just any woman. She was a decorated officer, a linguist, a strategist, and a pilot who had flown missions under the cover of night. Her call sign carried weight in the highest corridors of power. Presidents knew it, generals respected it, allies trusted it. But to the world in row 22, she was invisible. They saw only what she looked like, not what she was capable of. Hours into the flight, the seatbelt sign flickered on. The plane jolted as turbulence gripped the cabin. Nervous chatter broke out. Then came the captain's voice, calm but hiding a sharp edge. "Ladies and gentlemen, please remain seated. We've been asked to adjust our course." Passengers shifted uncomfortably. A man behind her muttered, "Probably nothing, unless it's foreign jets." That's when she sat upright, her eyes narrowing. She knew something they didn't, and as panic stirred around her, she calmly reached into her pocket and dialed a secure line. The operator on the other end answered instantly. She spoke just two words that carried the weight of entire nations. Her call sign. Silence followed. Then the voice on the other end simply said, "Stand by." Minutes later, passengers gasped as the sky outside erupted with motion. Fighter jets, sleek, armed, powerful, appeared at their wings, slicing through the clouds with thunder. The same man who had mocked her earlier now stared wide-eyed, his face pale. And then came the moment no one would ever forget. On the horizon, a massive plane appeared, its blue and white frame unmistakable. Air Force One. It had diverted its course, not for an emergency, not for the captain, but for her. As the presidential aircraft flew alongside, the captain's voice returned, but this time with awe. "Ladies and gentlemen, we are being escorted under special authority." Every head turned, every eye focused on the young woman in 22C. She raised her hand in a crisp salute toward the window. The fighter jets wavered slightly, returning the gesture. The truth could no longer be hidden. She wasn't just another passenger. She was a protector, a leader, a warrior. And those who had mocked her, they now sat in silence, ashamed, humbled, and forever changed. Greatness often hides in plain sight. Sometimes it sits quietly in seat 22C, not demanding respect, not showing off, but ready to reveal itself when the world needs it most. She was humiliated, she was doubted, but in a single moment, she reminded everyone of a lesson too often forgotten. True power doesn't need to announce itself. It speaks, and the skies listen. But what happened when the plane landed shocked everyone even more, because the man who mocked her earlier was about to come face to face with a truth he could never escape.